Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kind of Funny Gamescast, your post-show reaction to the Nintendo Switch event. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the pride of Ragtime Pizza, Colin Moriarty.
Go Bellport and Brookhaven, both
And
places
here
on Long Island.
Is the one and only from New York, pure one.
Live from New York.
Tim Gettys. How are you, Tim?
Let Tim host. I've had better days.
Tim, tell me all about it. Yeah, Colin and I are well abreast of each other's situations with the Octos and the whatnots. How are you feeling?
I mean, dude, like, the thing is, like, most of the news and the announcements and stuff, it's all fine. It's all whatever. It's just, that was such a fucking shit presentation.
Yeah.
And it's like, this was supposed to be a good one. And it's like, this is my problem, is everybody was like, we need to not do directs. This needs to be an actual press conference. No, it didn't. This should have been a direct. This should have been tight. This should have not had the awkward bullshit. And this should have just gave way, way, way more than it did. We should have seen titles of the games instead of just talking about them and then kind of awkwardly going away. It's like, it reminds me of the PS4 Pro thing, but it's like, this should not have been that. That's a minor upgrade. That's an optional thing. This is you showcasing why people need to care about this thing that people don't want to care about. And, man. The date surprised me way earlier than anyone.
I thought it would be deeper in March. Yeah, I thought it'd be deeper in March.
Yeah, no one guessed at that date. $300, that is the high end of what I think is acceptable. I think $250 was the sweet spot, and $200 was what I was really hoping for. No pack in the game. What a fucking letdown. Yeah, a lot of this, like the focus that they had on the Joy-Con stuff, it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, those games, fine. 1-2 Switch, horrible name. Whatever that game is, cool. We don't need to focus on it.
You're talking about ARMS, weren't you?
ARMS is interesting. From the leaked rumors, it's Platinum, but they didn't mention that at all.
Well, Platinum's tainted forever now.
So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, ARMS is one of those things, like, that'll be a fun Let's Play, but why are you focusing so much on this when there's so many obvious things people want to hear about? What's the Mario Kart 8 launch date?
Yeah, like, right? And that's my big...
Why are you acting like that's not a thing?
Yeah, so for the folks, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're doing this live on Twitch. Folks on Twitch are well-versed, I think, in the fact that Colin and I are disappointed in it. But my big takeaway, and I'm jumping around here, but it's just a conversation, that's what we do, and kind of funny, is the fact that, Colin, you're like, I'm not pre-ordering it anymore.
Nope.
My thought process is, if pre-orders go live tonight, I'm on Amazon, I'm going to pre-order on the hope that tomorrow in America, in New York at the event, they confirm, oh yeah, Mario Kart's for launch day, this is happening on launch day, Tim plays some stuff, and they tell, this, right now, the only launch game we have is Zelda that we know of, and 1-2 Switch, and probably ARMS, like, well fuck that, that's terrible.
It's Splatoon. Splatoon is not a launch game.
Splatoon 2, yeah.
Like, Splatoon 2, happy it's Splatoon 2. I think that's a really good call. Mm-hmm. But not at launch? What the hell are you thinking? That makes absolutely no sense. But going back to what you're talking about with the pre-orders, like, I'm still pre-ordering mine because that Zelda trailer at the end is everything I needed. That shit was hype as fuck, and that's what I want, and that's why I'm buying this thing. I'm not buying this thing for 1-2 Switch or whatever, but what I'm disappointed in is it didn't show me all the other reasons of why I'm buying this thing. This looks like the Wii U again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's my takeaway too, Tim, is that it just seems like the Wii U again, and some people on Twitter are saying, like, well, nothing's going to be good enough for you, Colin. Someone called me a jilted lover, right, like of Nintendo. And I'm like, I can't deny that I have expectations of a company because for the first time in a decade, I was really actually excited. Like, I really was looking forward to it. And I think that they made some strategic errors in terms of the way they positioned it, in terms of the fact that they didn't talk. So remember, Tim will remember that we talked about, like, they have to get the bad news out of the way, right? And they didn't get the bad news out of the way. They didn't talk too much about, obviously, its clear lack of power. They had a very wide range of battery life. It reminded me a lot of when any handheld is introduced, but really, what is the reasonable expectation that you're going to get? Are you talking about Virtual Console at 6 hours? Are you talking about something that's very Wi-Fi heavy, perhaps, at 2 or 2.5 hours?
Mario Kart apparently is April 28th. Apparently they're posting stuff already after the fact that they didn't want to go over during their conference to sell us on these information.
And sorry, like, I can't get excited. I know you guys, I've never really been a Mario Kart fan. I can't I can't get excited about just games that were on Wii U. It's like, who cares? Like,
well, for me, it's the fact that I like it on the go.
And that's why I'm excited, like, I'm so excited about Zelda. I think that Zelda trailer looked great, and Zelda looks great. We've known that for a long time, but, like, I'm not going to buy the Switch just to play Zelda and then wait 6 months for Mario. You know, like, I'll just play it on Wii U. We'll do an archaeological excavation on the Wii U. We'll dust it off, and I'll play it on there. You can play it on Switch, and that's fine. But I'm not gonna wait until, you know. I'll probably buy it in the fall when that Mario game, which I think looks pretty fun, is coming out. But I just think it's a major miss because I don't think that they didn't. didn't have enough. They didn't get enough information out there, and I just think that the game lineup is just super lackluster.
Let me give you the highlights here. In our inbox, we have the Nintendo Switch from Nintendo of America press release in English. So it's $299 March 3rd. Yeah, $299 March 3rd. All the stuff you expect. Goes through all your stuff here with this. Blah 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 blah. Going down this, talking about the 6.2-inch screen. First time players can do anything, blah, blah. Battery life can last for more than 6 hours, but will vary depending on the software and usage conditions. For example, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild can be played for roughly 3 hours on a single charge. While away from home, Nintendo Switch can be charged plugging the AC adapter into consoles.
Cool.
Type-C.
Okay.
I mean, I would say that's the cusp of acceptability.
And not to mention that's, as we always talk about, dev math. That's publisher math. Roughly 3 hours
That's also the best we're going to get for that quality of game on a portable system. Like, anyone expecting more is just crazy.
Going down to the HD Rumble we know about, talking about these things, 8 systems we know about. Nintendo Switch will be supported by world-class third-party developers including Activision, EA, Take-Two, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, major Japanese publishers, some blah, blah, blah. Talking about FIFA Sport, Elder Scrolls, NBA 2K, Minecraft, which you saw in there. Going back down, feature pack console. Blah, blah, blah. This is demonstrated by a wide variety of unique games that were announced for launch day this summer and into 2017. Blah. So here's the games they're calling out select first-party games, right? Zelda Breath of the Wild, we know, March 3rd. Great. Hold on, here we go. Oh, that's about amiibos. That doesn't matter for anything. Breath of the Wild, all right, cool. There's a Master Edition coming that has a Master Sword of Resurrection figure. That's $130. 1-2 Switch, sure. ARMS, sure. These are. Oh no, I'm sorry. 1-2 Switch, launch day in March. ARMS available this spring. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Going through this, it's the whole thing. Your favorite tracks and characters from the Wii U version, plus all the DLC tracks and characters, and new characters join the roster too. Inkling Girl and Inkling Boy from Splatoon, as well as King Boo, Dry Bones, and Bowser Jr. Plus battle mode.
There you go.
There you go, Dry Bones. I'm excited about that. Plus, battle mode has been revamped. It includes Balloon Battle and Bomb Blast, with new courses such as Urchin Underpass and Battle Stadium, and returning ones like GameCube's Luigi Mansion and SNES Battle Course 1. Players can now carry 2 items at a time, including new items, returning from previous Mario Kart games such as Boo, the item-stealing ghost, and the Feather, which gives player a high jump in battle mode. Players can even choose to use a new smart steering feature, which makes driving and staying on the track easy for novice players and kids.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe
Even at
awesome.
200 cc's. Playing TV mode up to 1080p. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe launches in April, so I don't know if that 28 day is correct according to this. Splatoon 2 launching this summer. Mario Kart Odyssey holiday season. Snipper clips. Cut it out together. This creative new kind of action puzzle game, players communicate, cooperate, and use their imaginations to solve basic and advanced puzzles by cutting paper characters into new shapes. People can play solo or with a friend in the main game, then bring in a bigger group to solve up to 4-player dynamic puzzles. That's in March, just March. Doesn't say anything about release date. And those are the games they're pimping.
I think that, I don't know, March 3rd, great release date, right?
Yeah.
Right around the corner, super excited, right after Horizon Zero Dawn. Would have had a, should I have been compelled enough to pre-order it, would have been super disruptive to that. Well, I'm sure we'll get the game early. $299, as we talked about before. I think, per Tim's price, I think that's probably the extreme of reasonability. But I also think that's a good price point, except for the fact that you can get, 2 other, frankly, far superior consoles with clearly better libraries for the same price, or cheaper. So that's a problem. The big thing is the online fee that they're going to start charging in fall 2017, which is bizarre and actually negates one of Nintendo's great advantages, especially when compared to the HD twins, because people were getting upset, obviously, about Xbox Live Gold for a long time. Now PlayStation Plus with PS4 is a requisite to be able to play online. Well, Nintendo's going to do the same thing, and I understand that they're letting everyone in early, and I thought that was like kind of a gateway drug, but it's actually because they have nothing on there that you're going to be able to even do online probably until the fall or after that as well, which I think is an interesting thing. And obviously the region-free approach that they're doing with the Switch is awesome. It's something we've taken great advantage of with PS3, PS4, and Vita in the last 10 years, and I think that that's a good thing as well. There's stuff to like about Switch. It's just how incredibly underwhelming it was, and I wonder, to be candid, and I don't know if Tim agrees, but I wonder if it's partially that, again, it's just victims of our own self-inflated hype. The fact that we get ourselves excited about things, but I couldn't help but be excited about this because I thought that we were going to see a different and new kind of Nintendo. I really thought that they were going to knock it out of the park, and some folks are asking, well, what did you want? And I'm like, well, that's not my job to deliver that. I don't know exactly what I wanted. I wanted them to show me something that got me as excited as I was when the Wii was even announced, And it just wasn't there. It wasn't there. I'm looking at the list of games I wrote down. Splatoon 2 looks cool, but it's basically just the same game with new maps and stuff like that. It's not like this revolution. Also, I'll agree with a lot of people, Tim, online, that they had the opportunity of calling it Splatoon with the 2 as the T.
I know.
And I think it's cool that, it's coming out in the summer. They're going to have DLC support. That's cool. Tournaments, all that kind of stuff. Splatoon's great. A lot of people love that game. Obviously, Mario Odyssey looks fantastic. A little weird. A little quirky.
A little weird, which is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Something that we don't expect. I think that's a good thing.
Mario Odyssey looks
weird,
great.
but I trust it.
It was weird to see him in the real world with real people, but that's getting beaten up enough.
But I'm deeply concerned in a way about the lack of tangible third-party support that we're seeing in unorthodox ways. We expected Atlas and Square Enix; they're always there. What we didn't,
and it was bad. But the showings that they had were so shitty. It's like how the games that they showed are ones that are not exciting in the way that they needed to be, and they're not the Kingdom Hearts or they're not the Final Fantasies that people need. Obscure games that aren't even named yet. Like, that's not going to cut it. And when you bring developers on that are standing up there like stuttering, like, this thing looks cool, and we're gonna make something for it. It's like that. The time for that was months ago.
Sure,
not now.
That was weird. And that translation, I felt so bad for that guy who clearly somebody went off book and he was like, whatever. I do have prices now are officially out for Nintendo Switch accessories. Nintendo Switch Pro controller, $70. The Joy-Con.
$70?
Oh, it gets worse.
$70?
You haven't heard the worst yet. That's for the Pro controller. The Joy-Con controllers together, a right and a left, $80. A Joy-Con left or a Joy-Con right, separately, $50.
$50.
The Joy-Con charging grip is $30. A separate dock set, if you want a second dock set, is $90. And then the Joy-Con wheel, which is a set of 2, it says. Oh, insert a Joy-Con into this accessory to feel like, so it's the fucking wheel for Mario Kart, $15.
That is really, this is what I'm talking about. I just don't understand what are they thinking?
This is the bad news that you were talking about, Colin.
Yep.
I would have never called that.
No, me neither.
Fucking called that.
I wouldn't have never thought it would have been an issue. An accessory pricing was the least of my concerns.
$80 controller, Kevin.
The gasp from Kevin off screen.
The Joy-Cons, $80. Pro controller, $70.
This thing is not going to be. I just don't see this thing being in a good shape. I hope I'm wrong. I want, like I said at the end of my column was right last week, I want a vibrant, independent Nintendo. I think it is good for the gaming industry, and they need to show us those gaming chops, man. There's other games in development. To the point of the third parties that I was saying before Greg was reading those things out, Tim. I don't understand why they left Square Enix either go off script or just say things. The Dragon Quest 10 and 11 announcements would have been actually really huge if they actually saved them for this press conference and could have helped mitigate some of those things, but we knew about those. Dragon Quest 11 is arguably one of the biggest games that's going to be available on Switch in its first year or 18 months. And they let them kind of just shit that announcement out along with the MMO announcement for Dragon Quest X, obviously being ported. Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 being a Musou from Omega Force makes me groan, but I actually like Dragon Quest Heroes, it's fine.
And that's my problem too with Fire Emblem. I heard the Fire Emblem music and lost my shit, and then it's freaking Fire Emblem Warriors, which is like, all right, fine. But
yeah, it's just an Omega Force game. Some people like those games. Obviously, they're doing well enough that they keep making them. I thought that the big canary in the coal mine, rather, though I got my bird analogies wrong there. I was going to say red herring. Okay, no,
Nick, there's a penguin over there.
But I thought the strange thing was that they had all these opportunities to get tangible Western third-party publishers on stage. They get EA on stage, so that's good. Soderlund's up there, big deal. And they talk about FIFA. They don't talk about anything else. They don't have anything else to say, and they don't have Ubisoft got burned, I think, so maybe they're gone. But
yeah, which is surprising. I thought they'd be there.
But EA coming up there and being like, well, FIFA, and I know there's a Rabbids rumor with all that kind of stuff too, but I'm like, that's all you have to say is like that you flew him all the way out to Tokyo from Redwood City to announce FIFA? Like, instead of some sort of dynamic partnership, I think that they've fallen woefully short in a lot of different ways that I think are going to be very concerning. And I know that there are a lot of people excited on Twitter and on forums and whatnot about this, but there are a lot of people excited on Twitter and forums about Wii U. So
no, I feel from the glance at Gaff and the glance at Twitter, a lot of people in our echo chamber, our friends, I know Jared Petty, Mitch, I don't know Alexis Reed, they're excited about it. It seems like mostly negative, and Gaff's definitely negative. More information rolling in. This is the Nintendo Switch online service, paid service launching fall 2017, which we knew, of course. Service lets Nintendo Switch owners enjoy online gaming as well as a dedicated smartphone app that connects to your Nintendo Switch system and helps you connect with friends for online play sessions.
Wait. So they're doing a mobile app that is
This is what they
paywall?
said during it, and I was wondering about it. The app is the way you communicate. It doesn't sound like you're able to message in-game. It sounds like you have to message through the app, at least in the ways. Let's read more before we go. Available in March, free trial. Online play Nintendo Switch. You'll be able to play compatible co-op and competitive games online by signing with your Nintendo account. Online play will be free for Nintendo account holders until our paid online service launches in fall 2017. Online lobby and voice chat. Our new dedicated smart device app will connect to Switch and let you invite friends to play online, set play appointments, and chat with friends.
But that must be remote, right? There's no way they're releasing a console that can't do that on natively.
Online matches, incompatible games, all from your smart device. A free limited version of this app will be...
Okay, I think that's bad wording. There is no way that they're releasing a console in 2017 that cannot do that natively.
Well, this app won't even be out until 2017, so we'll know in March. Here's something interesting, though. Monthly game download. Subscribers will get to download and play a Nintendo Entertainment System or Super Nintendo Entertainment System game, parentheses, with newly added online play for free for a month. Exclusive deal. Special offers for subscribers may include discounts on digital games and content.
Nothing about trophies? Nothing about...
Here, they have a little chart here. I'll read through it, of course. It's service subscribers versus non-subscribers. I'll let you know when it's available for non-subscribers as well. Online gameplay, online lobby and voice app, monthly game download, exclusive deal. That's all service subscriber. The rest goes both ways. Access to Nintendo eShop, register and manage friends, share screenshots of social media, access to Nintendo Switch parental control app.
Okay, Chris Kohler, our friend Chris Kohler, tweets out, subscribers to Switch Online will get a monthly free download of an NES or SNES game, and the SNES games will have online play.
Ah, that's interesting. It's just the SNES. That's correct that it's after the fact, but interesting. Huh. How you doing, Tim?
Not well. It's so upsetting because the problem is I really do think that the way this information was put out there just makes it's insult to injury. I think there's a lot of great news that they have. Like, I'm sure the GameCube Virtual Console games are real. Why didn't they talk about them? And that's the type of shit that's upsetting me. And I don't like the excuse of, we're gonna wait till E3. Like, it is exciting that this thing is so close that it's like, all right, cool, it's gonna be here, and by the time it's here, E3 will be 2 months after that. But it's like, no, this is what needed to like impress us, and
100%.
I'm not impressed by it. Like, this
100%.
Going into it, like, now I'm more excited about like just the shit that I know is gonna come instead of what's here and what they're giving to us. What I thought was cool was the Street Fighter 2 that they showed in there, and the Super Bomberman that they showed in there. I like the emphasis on local multiplayer games, and I think that is where this thing is going to succeed. And I think that this thing is going to be awesome, but they did a horrible job doing that. And like, I just can't believe that they produced a conference that way.
What I thought I caught,
insulting.
Let me know if I'm right or wrong. What I thought I caught when they were going through that sizzle reel, Minecraft, I thought I saw Rayman in there, but the fact that no one else is talking, it wasn't there? All right,
Rayman Legends was in there.
So there's Legends?
Yes.
Jesus.
Legends.
Lego Undercover or Lego City, whatever it is.
What's wrong with Legends?
The one that's already been out. What's wrong with Legends?
Just
Older.
get new games?
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand all these ports. There's just fucking ports. Just ports.
Dragon
GameCube
Ball
games.
showed up. Sonic the Hedgehog had something in there. Just Dance, Bomberman, Tetris, some kind of futuristic racing, Mario Kart, and then NBA.
It was Fast Neo X.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
which is like an F-Zero knockoff.
Gotcha. And then we don't know. I think it seems like pre-orders in America might be going live today. That has been the rumor. People are still talking, but then they made a point to say Japan pre-orders on the 21st of January. Quite the night. This didn't go the way I expected it to.
Scepter in the chat real quick said, this is unsubstantiated because I haven't seen it, but Nintendo stock's down almost 5 points. So we'll see. I don't read an incredible amount into that because there's a lot of vacillation on the market all the time. You never know. It could rebound very quickly when new news comes out. Tomorrow when Tim goes hands-on, people can be incredibly positive about it. It can rebound.
Yeah, Tim, walk me through.
The word on the street here is people are fucking stoked. Like, being on the street, being around, like, people are so excited about this, and supposedly...
Wait, before the event or after the event?
Before the event.
Okay.
Like, just people that are working, that I ran into, that are working the Nintendo booth. And,
okay.
Like devs or whoever that are like setting things up, or people that have seen it, like, they're super stoked, and they said that it's a really awesome setup and it's super cool and that it'll really sell people on it. We'll see. I mean, that... I don't know.
And you know better than me. You've actually you've been planning this event. What can you tell us? Is there a presentation for you tomorrow, or is it strictly that you go in and start playing stuff?
It starts off with a presentation, and I assume it's going to be a truncated version of that one that we saw, and it'll probably make a lot more sense. I think it'll actually be like way better, and then we'll be able to go play some games. Not Mario though, which is really upsetting.
That sucks. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come the fuck on.
Well, they took what 5,000 years to make Zelda, so I'm sure Mario's going to take just as long. Zelda game or Polygon reports Switch games at retail will cost $60. They also have pictures of the case. So
That's a good looking case.
People can check it out. It's basically looks like a clear edge DVD
Nick, do we have
case.
Skycam?
What size? I can't see.
do.
What size are we talking for the case? Does
It
it
looks-
look like
it
a Blu-ray
looks-
case?
It's
Or a
hard
3DS
to
case?
tell, but
Oh,
no,
hey.
it looks like a PS4 case at that size.
Okay, great, good.
Do we have the Skycam?
Do you need it? Yeah.
Yeah, here. Fold that guy in. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. You're doing,
Okay,
you're doing it. You're doing it. Tim's still in it too.
So here's what it looks like. If you guys can see it, that's the case.
We don't see you at all, so.
I'm
we're
sorry,
showing it
it's-
to the audience. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
cool.
not worried about
Cool,
you,
cool,
you
that's fine.
piece of shit.
Totally
And
fine.
you can see there. Okay.
You're on Twitch, just mute it.
Thank you, Nick.
I don't.
Okay, you're right. You're right. You call.
It's just I don't
I'm
know.
really,
Oh,
I'm
sorry,
really
Tim, go
sad,
ahead.
guys.
I am too.
I bet, yeah. No, I am
legitimately
as
upset
well.
about this because I've been so excited and like it's been nothing but great news and everything's been so good about this thing and like this is just such a wrong step and again it goes back to it like I wanted a direct. It would have been so much better if
Yeah.
it was a direct. This was awkward and this was so old school. Like after you see the awesome Sony press conferences, how do you put this out there announcing a product that's as awesome as the Switch? It's not okay.
As awesome, I'll say this, Tim, as awesome as it should be. As awesome as it should be. This thing had all of the makings and all the trappings, and perhaps still does. And Tim will know first out of all of us because he's going to go hands-on with it. Has all the trappings and makings of something super special, and Nintendo has an opportunity still to capture people. I'm a reformed, as I always say, Nintendo fan, and I really thought that they were going to get it, and I really want them to get it, and I hope that this was just a bad first step, and
Yeah.
it's possible to recover from bad first steps. This is not nearly as catastrophic as the Xbox One reveal, for instance, back in 2013, which was a fucking disaster. This is not even close to being that, and Xbox One has sold, 30 million units, so they're totally fine. And they did it at $500 and $400, and with perhaps a less compelling catalog than Nintendo's going to have after 18 months or 2 years. But
Yeah.
my whole case for this is people are asking, or people have asked, like, well, what are you expecting? And my whole thing was like, I just wanted them to talk to me for once. You know, I was there from the beginning. You know, like I want them to just talk and acknowledge that people like me exist. People want to come back into the fold. Just give me a reason, please. That's the thing is, going into this, I was desperate for a reason, and I thought that they were going to give you 10. You know,
Yeah.
I thought they were going to come out and be like, yeah, we got Retro working on Metroid or a new IP. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we got that. Because you have to bring out your big guns. You're going against two companies that are absolutely destroying it right now, and you're jumping in to a situation that is going to be hard for it to be tenable for them, especially at a time when PlayStation 4, particularly at a price that is at Switch's price or cheaper, is going to start rolling out these massive first-party games that are going to sell millions of copies each, including Horizon, including God of War, et cetera, and so on. And so I feel like someone said on Twitter, I feel a little jilted tonight because I had so much optimism. As people that saw Colin was right, the first episode of Colin was right, I was beaming with optimism. I think Nintendo is important. I think Nintendo doing well is important, and I wish that they just understood it. And tonight I am less confident than I was going in that they understand.
A couple unsubstantiated things because of things going on the internet, of course. Right now, apparently, if you still want to, Walmart pre-orders are up. And then next, Wolverine and a couple other people in the chat are saying 32 gigabytes of internal storage, expandable with micro SD XC cards. I'm not sure what a micro is.
That's good news.
Okay.
I mean, the expandable things are so cheap. The 32 gigs is like bare minimum for it to be good, but anything more than that's not going to be too crazy. But you can buy a 128 gig card for next to nothing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, Colin, like what you're saying about just wanting to speak to you, it's like I just want him to speak to me, and I feel like that's so easy to accomplish. Like I'm not asking for much, and like I am one of those guys. I'm all I need for the launch, or at least for the like titles that I wanted to talk about, was the ports of Mario Kart and Smash Bros. And things like that. And like we didn't even get that. Like they didn't even do enough to speak to the Wii U owners that loved the Wii U and thought it had a great catalog, and I just want more of that shit. And that sucks because I already know about Zelda. Like Zelda looked awesome. I knew that. I'm buying this thing. It would be very hard for Nintendo to do something that would cause me to not want to buy this thing. If not impossible. Like I know that I'm going to want to invest in this at some point. But I don't know. Like this presentation felt like a joke. Like this doesn't feel real.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that, you know, there's going to be problems, right? And like I said, they got one of the problems out of the way with the battery life, but they didn't talk too much about resolution or power, although there's rumors about what's inside of it and stuff like that. And that's going to be a big deal, and they probably should have tackled that head on. As I said, again, I hate referencing that video, but I just don't want to be redundant for people who have watched it. I really don't think the lack of power is going to be a big deal. You just have to say it first. You know what I mean?
Well, they did say it. They said it loud and clear with Skyrim.
Right.
No HD after it. Like, come the fuck on.
That's true, but I mean, in a more literal way of like saying, you see, if you control the message, if you come out first, it's like when you're a little kid and you do something wrong and you tell your parents before they figure it out, and you get like kind of the benefit of the doubt, as opposed to them like waiting a few days and then they find the broken vase or something in the living room. It's like, just come out and say it, because it is important to some people, and you should just say like, it's not important for our games. And so between that and the lack of third-party support and stuff like that, I'm seeking something to be positive about, and the only things I can be positive about is that the system still looks cool, and the promise of the system still looks cool, because I want a handheld hybrid with a console. One of the things I wrote down was that they keep stressing the name console, and I actually think that was a mistake, because if they have this underpowered 720/1080p thing in a world of 4K TVs and PlayStation 4 Pro and Scorpio, again, stressing that it's a console, not a handheld, I would go the other way, especially because the handheld is selling 50 million units, the 3DS. The Wii U is selling 12.5 million units. And clearly their salvation is in more the handheld part of it as well. That's what people are excited about. People aren't excited about having a handheld plugging into a TV. People are excited about just having a handheld. And so I want them to be, I want them to come out and talk about that, and I also want them to come out and talk about just some of the more first-party offerings. I agree with you, Tim. Zelda, we've known Zelda's going to be great. We've known that for a long time. We played it almost a year ago at E3. We know. Like that
it looks way better than it did then, though. That's the good thing. It's like this is looking like a substantial Zelda game.
Sure, and dude, whether it looks like the NES Zelda or it looks like Link to the Past or it looks like Link's Awakening, I don't care. I'm going to play it. I think it looks great. But again, to your point, we knew it. It seemed anticlimactic to end with that. I would have started with that.
And they never would let it end. It's like, we understand it's coming on launch day. Why you keep joking about this? What did Nick have to say about the production of the whole thing?
Nick, what did you think of the production of the entire conference you watched? And while Nick leans into the microphone, Gaff has the Japanese Nintendo site translated. The Japanese Nintendo Switch launch lineup is Zelda Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, Nobunga no Yabua Power Kit thingies.
Oh, Nobunaga?
Yeah.
Nobunaga's ambitious.
I Am Setsuna, Puyo Puyo Tetris. The
Puyo
Tetris.
Puyo
I can never
Tetris.
say it for some reason. S. Disgaea 5, Super Bomberman R.
Okay, Disgaea 5 is, again...
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Bomberman's cool.
R is huge.
And Bomberman's great for the 8, because you could set up 8 switches to speak to each other, which is cool. There's a lot of great things, but again, the ports, man. Disgaea 5 is old. This isn't, I Am Setsuna is old. These are... It's just, that's why I disagree with Tim in the sense, or your guys' excitement, because I'm just like, yeah, I love GameCube. Except NES, my favorite Nintendo console. I'm a fucking huge GameCube fanboy. But I'm not that excited to play GameCube games on, I need something new and fresh and
That's why you're excited for Octopath.
That's the thing, Tim, is that no real substantial mention of the Virtual Console, which is it's really going to get me involved. We know now we're going to get a free NES or SNES game, which is fantastic, but again, you could have spoken to me by just tugging at my nostalgia a little bit. And that was maybe that's what's missing, is that Nintendo is all about nostalgia. It's all about your childhood. It's all about the past, which is fun for a lot of people.
Is it or is it about different ways to play? Because that's what I'm hearing.
But in the different way to play era, it started out good and it's not turned out very well. The DS and the Wii started strong and did incredible numbers, but didn't retain that audience. And then you end up with the Wii U, and so. I don't know. It's hard. I gotta think. I gotta marinate.
Nick, the question was, what did you think of the production quality?
I like the part where the guy sat on the couch for a couple seconds. Because I think that there's probably, at some part, someone was like, shit, we forgot the white couch. And then there was a big scramble, and then they finally got the white couch.
Captain Platypus, if I might, he's a user in the Twitch chat, says, pretty sure they want to grow out of that past already. Well, do they? Because they send a lot of mixed signals with that. Here are our GameCube games.
Here's everything we've learned.
Here's Mario Kart and Smash Brothers or whatever from Wii U. But we're gonna let you use your GameCube controller on 3 consoles later. But we want you to grow out of that past. It's a conflicting message. I think they have to embrace what they are, and that requires a lineage, but also not a reliance, as I said, only on old games. I don't know. I got to think, but I just feel disappointed, and the market apparently, because Nintendo's stock is now down 5.5%, seems disappointed as well. And I'm seeing a lot of on my personal Twitter feed. I'm seeing a lot. Our friend Andrea Renee reached out, and because I reached out, like, who's actually excited about this? And a lot of and she was like, everyone on my timeline except for you. and her. And I'm like, I don't get it. I'm all about enthusiasm. I'm all about liking games. We all love video games, but I'm not all about the liking every single thing that's put in front of your face, which is really the vibe I get in games lately. And they deserve and need to show more. So, but hey, I'm going to remain open-minded, and at the very least, when Mario comes out, I'm all in. I'm definitely going to get it.
Yeah, Mario looks awesome.
But that's the thing, Greg, and I don't know if you agree, Tim, probably not because you're going to play Splatoon and these other games, but that's the reason why I don't want to pre-order a Switch is because from Zelda at March 3rd to, let's assume, October, November of Mario, there's nothing in there for me. Nothing that I know of. You know? I can play Virtual Console on my 3DS. I can play Virtual Console on my Wii U. I don't need to have that stopgap. I can play Virtual Console on the go on my 3DS. I don't with a better battery life. So, I don't know. Teach his own, I guess. You have any closing comments?
No, we'll see. I don't know. I want to see what Tim thinks of it tomorrow when you get hands-on, Tim. I want to know what your impressions are. I want to know more about it. I don't feel the need to rush out and pre-order it. If pre-orders pop tonight and I'm around, I probably will, just in case it's awesome tomorrow. I don't know, because if it's the inevitability of me getting one, I want to play Mario eventually. But then I feel like I'm going back on what I do, because I did the same thing with Wii U and PlayStation 3. Right, those were unimpressive to me for a long time, so I didn't buy them. But I do love Mario Kart, and I love to have Mario Kart on the planes, and I love Zelda. So I got 2 games right there. Oh, I need my power back.
Tim, what are your closing thoughts?
I mean, I can't wait to pre-order it. I hope that it happens sooner than later because I need this thing and I want to guarantee that I have one. But yeah, it's sad. Sad is the only way I can put it. It's been the year of dreams
for PlayStation
in so many ways, and I just feel like this is just like. I just wish that it wasn't in Japan. I really do. I think that hurt them so much, and I think that the messaging that they have and that the decisions they decided to what they decided to talk about is just so backwards, and the focus was just totally off because they had some really cool stuff and they even showed some really cool stuff. They just talked about it in such a way that made it not interesting, and I feel like based on all the leaks that I've been following, the things that they showed,
Walmart is sold out, by the way,
that were not there, and it's like, where are those things? Where is this stuff? So I'm sure it's at E3, and I think that that's bullshit.
Well, I think the trajectory is going to be similar. From what we see now, before you go play the game tomorrow, maybe we're going to have some news. There's always optimism that Nintendo can turn it around, and whatever that means, because for a lot of people, it doesn't need to be turned around.
Yeah.
But this feels like Wii U, as you said, and I feel like the sales trajectory will be similar to Wii U, which sold an extraordinary amount in its first weekend, and then just fell off a cliff until there were little bumps when there was reasons to buy it. And I'm shocked with the lead-in time for Switch and how long that Project NX had been floating around, and how Mario is clearly in development. Even by looking at it, you can tell it was in development for Wii U, and was brought over to the Switch. And with Zelda, like that, there's just not more prepared. That there's not because if they were smart, Tim, I think what they would have done is prepared such a way their first party and second party offerings to be like, we're gonna have something for you every 2 months. For 18 months, and here's the plan.
That's what I expected, including ports, though. That's my thing, is all I really wanted from this was, at launch, here's what you're getting, and then here's what you're getting in April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I mean, they could even stop at October. And I'd been fine with that, if that's where it's like, all right, Splatoon, and then Mario Kart, and then Smash, and then whatever. I've been fine with that stuff. Because if they're enhanced ports with enough DLC, it's like, cool, I'm down for that. Add in a couple new games here and there, and fuck yeah, but they didn't.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of the Nintendo Switch and this presentation? Let us know in the comments here on YouTube, and understand that we are doing this live right after the presentation. That's why the news is coming in hot and heavy. So, of course, tomorrow on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames at 11 a.m. when we start the Kind of Funny morning show, we'll have more news. We'll have recaps. When are you seeing it tomorrow, Tim?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
I think it's 9 a.m. my time is when we go.
Oh, nice.
In this
Okay.
presentation. I don't know how long it's going to last, and I don't know, when we get to play the
Exactly,
game.
100%. You're doing what? Can you tell us what you're doing there that you'll be putting up on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames?
We'll figure it out. It's Nintendo, so they're
understand.
super. They have rules, so I don't know. I don't know what they'll let us get direct feed of, what they'll let us get off screen for interviews or this or that. But I'm gonna feel it out and see what I think's worth doing. But
so then to recap,
we're definitely gonna post some impressions.
Great. So to recap, then tomorrow, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, and I'm saying tomorrow being Friday, the Kind of Funny morning show will recap everything that happened overnight, maybe some new news, maybe some new announcements. Then Tim will be seeing stuff along with Kevin at the Nintendo event in New York, so you can catch all of that on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames throughout Friday, probably into Friday night, into even Saturday, I'd assume. And until next time, know It's been our pleasure to serve you.
Don't let me down, Nintendo.
Don't do it.
Please.
Again, because today was
Because I can't take it anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen on Twitter,